Information Coalition has given government a 10-day ultimatum to lay the Right to Information Bill before Parliament. The coalition says it's time the over 10-year-old struggle over the bill ends. Seth Abloso is the chairman of the RTI Coalition, and Mariada is the programs manager of the Ghana Integrity Initiative. Gentlemen and lady, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
First off, the 10-year struggle for the right to information has not been fruitless, right? Let me start with you, sir.
It's not been fruitless. It's not been fruitless. We've manifested the will of the people to have access to information as a fundamental human right. And we've manifested the obligation of Parliament, of government, executive, to ensure that processes are completed for the passage of a law. Unfortunately, in the last Parliament, it couldn't get passed. So that's where we stand. And it couldn't get passed because the then NPP minority torpedoed the passage. We had almost passed it because the bill was withdrawn because of the many amendments that were on it. It was withdrawn, and then both sides, assisted by civil society, organized and said that when it went back to Parliament in October 2016, it was not to receive any, there will be no need for any amendment or debate. It will just have had to pass. So all of us thought that the campaigning was over, and that what we will be doing subsequently will be to see how the law gets implemented after presidential assent to the bill.
Now, Madam Ada, now this brings to mind the issue of political play in this particular bill. 10 years. Do you have hope that we're going to be able to pass this at all?
Before that, let me say, one of the things we have wished for as a country is that we have the law that gives free access to information to the citizens of this country who are constitutionally mandated anyway to have information. However, the Act then gives us the opportunity to be able to leverage on this constitutional provision in Article 21(1)(f). Unfortunately, as you have indicated, the political play has been our bane. It is accepted by both the MPP and NDC that we need a right to information law. Unfortunately, they have their reservations as to what a law of such nature would bring to them, because this is going to give us access to everything we need except the restricted provisions. And so people are afraid of the consequences of leading their lives in the open. Unfortunately, for us in the coalition and for us in this action platform, we believe that so far as you make yourself available to serve this nation, you become a public officer and your life becomes an open book, which the people of Ghana can have access to whatever time we wish to, provided it does not infringe on your rights to privacy. We believe that as a public officer, you should at all times give us information when we need it, however we need it, and in whatever quantities we need. So those reservations about people would know exactly what we have, people would distract our work because they feel they know about us, and people will be making frivolous allegations with requests they have gone in for the information. It's not right. We believe that, as the current president indicated, and the chairman has already indicated, that the manifestos of the various parties since 2000 have indicated a commitment to the passage of this law.
But we haven't seen it, and that's why I'm asking you, are you hopeful?
We are. We are hopeful, and we in civil society and the people of Ghana, as is indicated, we have become empowered and educated, and we are going to demand this of our president. He has also shown goodwill, let's be quick to admit, and on every platform he has had an opportunity to be on. One of the issues he's raised is this. And on 6 March, I believe he mentioned this categorically, that the bill would go back to Parliament. As to whether the bill gets laid and passed before the current sitting of Parliament, which is in the next 2 weeks, is not a feasible possibility for us, because we know there are processes which the bill needs to go through to get passed. Unfortunately, that cannot happen in 2 weeks. But what the coalition is demanding and requesting as a build on to what the president has already indicated is that this bill should go to Parliament before Parliament rises for the Easter break.
All right.
It is not too much to ask.
Okay, let me come to you, Chairman. What makes the coalition think 10 days ultimatum will make a difference when 3,650 days couldn't give us the ultimate?
It can make a difference. Actually, because last year, the Vice President, the Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, said the bill could be passed in 100 days. In 2017, he said so. So it shouldn't take. Now, with all that was done, all the work that was done on the bill that lapsed in the last Parliament, all that they need to do now really is to change the name of the Attorney General who submits it, who gets it laid, who gets it gazetted, change the dates for the accompanying memorandum to the bill, and that's all. It should be in Parliament.
What should we be doing differently? I'm sure you've learned a lot of experience.
Yes, what should we be doing differently? Because there's been some discordant voices within the ruling New Patriotic Party. Is it the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament? Yes. Has made very worrying remarks about the right to information law, and we wonder how such a highly placed person will be questioning the need for such a law when he was with us all along, and we almost nominated him for mention as a champion of the Right to Information Act.
So you're wondering why the sudden change. Have you cared to ask him or find out?
Yeah, we have not asked him directly, but from what we gather, you see, when persons get to the other side of the divide, some think nothing matters, and that is very worrying. Yes, something that. But the president mentioned the Right to Information law as an anti-corruption tool. Yes, it's an anti-corruption. In fact, it should have preceded the Special Prosecutors Act. But it's not only for anti-corruption. It promotes good governance and promotes confidence in the executive. And with it, this democracy becomes entrenched and thrives beyond the 25 years. Because nobody is going after personal information of members in government or politicians, except that they need to be reminded that when you are filing assets declaration, you must also declare liabilities. It's important that the two go together. But for instance, people living in Adenta need to know how much it will cost to put an overhead bridge on the highway in between West Africa Secondary School, etc. In the mornings, it's dreadful to have people crossing. So people will have to ask, will need to know how much it will cost and why has it stayed so long? Is it going to stay until 2000? Same with the N1 highway. How many extra footbridges do we need? And how much does it cost? The people have a right to know, so they know how they can appreciate government's difficulties. These are some of the issues.
You want to add something?
Yeah, I think to add to that, what we can do differently. We have already done a lot. A lot in the past. We have picketed, we have done demonstrations, we have done all we can do with the engagements with the Parliamentary Select Committee in the past. We are continuing to do that. But this time the difference is that we are mobilizing more people. And we want the people of Ghana to appreciate the fact that this is not the right to information coalitions fight. It is a fight for all Ghanaians. When we begin to see it as that is their fight, then we have all lost it.
Yeah.
We need to all appreciate the media, the ordinary citizen on the street begins to demand accountability, begins to demand transparency from the public officer. How do we get that? We can only get that if we have a law that mandates the public officer to give us the information when we need it. If we collectively ask for, we will get it. And we have seen it manifested in various campaigns that have been jointly held in this country. An example is the Galamsey one that is currently also ongoing. We believe every Ghanaian should rise to the occasion to support this call. And we will demonstrate, and the parliamentarians and the executive would not have any other option but to listen to the people of Ghana. We voted for them to serve us. This is the time to call them to serve us. We need to begin to see that happening. And so there are a lot of actions planned already for these 10 days that
I've seen some pictures on social media. Something
social,
and others.
Yes. The social media campaign is ongoing. Something is one of our key points. We have Bernard and others. Kofi Bentel is another. We have champions, and we are going to flood social media with this campaign. Apart from that, we're going to flood our streets from Monday with a campaign, and the news will be filled with this campaign, and everybody who must hear and must know and can act on our request would have heard us. We also plan to do the Hall of Fame thing and shame. So institutions that are known to proactively give us information would be cited for commendation, and those who refuse would also be cited for shaming. And we know in the past researches that have been done and awards which have been done have shown some great success in doing this.
Okay. Mr. Blossom, let me just quickly ask you this. So 10 days you've given government. If they do not meet your requirement by that ultimatum, what next?
We're expecting the president to be the gentleman that he is and accede to our request. The minimum request is to have the bill laid in Parliament. Failing that, there is a lot that we can do. And we'll remind the president in his days on the streets of Accra, in the Kumi Preko marches, etc. We can get something like that rolled out. And we are hoping that we don't come to that. But this is a fundamental right that buttresses all rights. And we'll be out in the streets to assert our rights to freedom. And the MPP says that it wants development in freedom. That's the motto of the party. You can't have development in freedom when your citizens don't have freedom to access information.
All right. Finally, Madam Ada, how are you hoping to engage the citizenry in this fight?
Yes, we have various groups across the country. The Right to Information Coalition has various contact points and various groups across the country. And from Monday, you would have heard, or you would be hearing from us with campaigns that cut across from social media in the regions. We are selecting the four most populous regions in the country to start the engagements in. So you would hear campaigns on the streets, campaigns on our radios. We also have other champions in the various districts. And so on the various community radio stations, we would also be engaging. But then in Accra, there will be a massive campaign as well. We don't want to do that. And as well, we want to get to the president. We are writing to him,
okay,
and to demand, and we write to Parliament. They already know us, we engage, and so we are continuing with that engagement process, and we hope to achieve results. Because if the special prosecutor is to work effectively, the citizens of Ghana must give him the necessary information to be able to carry on with his investigations. And so this is a clarion call on Parliament and the Executive to give us the law that will help us support the processes of enforcing the special prosecutor's mandate.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me in studio. Hopefully next time we'll be talking about the bill before Parliament and the way forward. Thank you so much.